I see that the city of Calgary has just released a statement indicating it will allow men to access the women's washroom or change room in all of its facilities. Golly, Drea,
Of
what could go
course.
wrong with that policy?
Of course, we're already seeing what's going wrong with these policies. We're seeing it across Canada, especially in swimming areas. Why in swimming? Because that's where little girls and women are getting changed. So we keep seeing that happen, and now we're going to see it happen more. And I don't know, maybe soon you won't be able to protest that issue as well. You won't be able to go near swimming areas. I know that if you're protesting against abortion, you can't go near places. During COVID, they were saying you can't protest near medical places. So really, it's just soon you're not going to be able to protest in very many spaces. You're going to be off in an industrial complex talking to yourselves.
It's horrible. And to think that there are males and there are creeps out there that are part of my sex for sure. They're going to game this. They're going to go into
Oh,
bathrooms.
yeah.
They're going to go into female change rooms. And this is all being done under the auspices of trans rights and
Mm-hmm.
trans women are real women. There's another slogan for you. But you know what it really is, Drea? It's misogyny. You are
Mm-hmm.
declaring war on biological females to
Yeah.
accommodate a percent of a percent of a percent, many of whom might be mentally ill. Hey, I'm sorry. I said it because I know that's the way it is. I bumped into
Mm-hmm.
these people at demonstrations time and time again. Once upon a time, when we had asylums, they'd be in a rubber room. Now they're being championed as
Well, and high
the
suicide rates
yeah,
is also an indicator of high
yep.
mental illness. So,
And
yeah.
what I was going to ask you, I mean, like, Drea, you are obviously a biological woman. If a man came into a change room, say it's a pool change room, and you're in a state of undress, you're getting into your bathing suit and you're taking your clothes off, I can only imagine what you'd feel like. I mean, if you were somebody in my family, I'd hate that to happen to you. But how would you feel if a person who is clearly a male, i.e., his wedding tackle is still firmly attached, comes in and starts getting naked right beside you? I'm just guessing. I don't think you're going to be comfortable with that.
Yeah, well, obviously, I would do a Rebel News report about it. But let's say I wasn't, I would be mortified, especially if you're maybe not kind of following all this, because let's face it, the state backed media isn't telling too many people this side of things that is happening. So it would be quite shocking to see it firsthand. And I actually recently interviewed a mom who her child was changing in the Nanaimo Aquatic Center, and she saw an individual come in who, looked like a man with a wig on, and caught him peeping underneath her daughter's stall because she had kind of heard that there was an individual going in there, so she was on guard. So you have women having to be on guard more than ever now because this radical agenda. Yes, there she is.
Mm.
And now she's actually becoming an activist about this issue, safe spaces for women and children, because it was so shocking. And when she went out and told the people at the front desk what happened, they agreed with the individual. I should backtrack. So when she said to the individual, like, get out of here, and yelled at him, that individual said, this is my right to be in here. So then she went and complained at the front desk, and they said, well, yeah, it is. If they identify that way, they can go in. So yeah, you're right. This is a matter of misogyny in the sense that I'm going to take over everything. I'm going to do everything better than you. I'm going to look better than you, talk better than you. I'm going to
Yep.
take up all of your spaces, and you're not going to have anything that you can do if you're a woman about that. And
Oh,
that has to change.
I agree, Dre. It is clearly, I'm sorry again, it is the inmates running the asylum because when you have the front desk staff saying, oh, no, he's got every right to be in there. We're all about transgendered rights, even when they eclipse biological female rights. And again, you look at the numbers, it makes no sense. There's what I'm assuming at least 4 billion biological women on the planet,
Yeah.
a scintilla of a fraction of a percent of men pretending to be women. And yet they're running the agenda. And it came up in the morning meeting. There's going to be a protest in Calgary today about these issues. And I'm sure those on the love trumps hate transgender side, they're going to get violent. And the reason why I say that, they know that the mayor and the council and even the police are on their side. So I can see them throwing a few haymakers because they are so emboldened by the authorities who should be shutting them down.
We're already seeing that. We saw that at the Coquitlam Public Library protests that I covered. But even if you backtrack a little bit more, a child protection activist, Chris Elston, known as Billboard Chris, who literally is a very peaceful protester. He just wears a sign and stands still for the most part. He got brutally assaulted by Antifa, LGBTQ defenders, and they broke his arm. And, nobody knows who they were. And these people are just getting off of this. And why wouldn't they? Especially in Calgary, what are we going to see now? You've got a pastor and, some of his friends or whatever praying and quiet, and they're getting charged. And just the other day, there was, it appeared to be a transgender woman assaulting someone at a protest and getting off scot-free while the cops smiled and smirked about it in Calgary.
Yeah, so I saw that, and that's despicable. And when it comes, it's Chris, right? The sign fellow, right?
Yes, Chris Elston, yeah.
That's it.
In Montreal, yeah.
And I have interviewed him, and he's a good chap. And I think at one point he got his arm broken. And the prevailing mindset, Drea, is, as you said, he just goes there. He stands with his sign. He's not yelling at anybody. He's not catcalling. But the authorities consider that to be provocation, right? That, well, you got them angry. You started it. And so are we going back to the dark old days? I'm thinking when there'd be a rape trial in the courts, and suddenly the questions are, were you showing cleavage? What was your hemline like? It looked like you were asking for it. I mean, is that how far we've come, Drea, that we're going to the dark old days where we re-victimize the victim?
I hope not. I think we're turning a corner. It looks like we have some of the footage of Billboard Chris Elston being attacked. There's about 5-on-1. He's being brutally attacked. And yes, they broke his arm, all because he was wearing a sign that said children can't consent to puberty blockers. I mean, this is people like this who have this violence are going to say, we've got the green light. Yeah, let's go out to these protests and, let's handle business. And then they just go home and laugh. But I do think we are turning a leaf on this because these agendas and these incidents are becoming so just crazy to the point that gays, lesbians, and bisexuals want to be departed from their community. More and more people are going to get over their cowardism and start speaking out. And so I have to believe that we will have change. And for those of you who are really interested about this and knowing where more protests are, we are covering those. I just recently covered one as well. And you can find out a lot of those reports at our website called keepkidsspacessafe.com. So I just want to throw that out there too.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.